A mission into the unknown. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly, a cold and silent abyss broken only by the distant glimmer of dying stars. Through this desolate void, a single warship drifted toward its destination, an uncharted, forbidden world. Its name had long been erased from star maps, whispered only in cautionary tales among Federation officers. The Valiant Dawn, a heavily armored Federation battleship, carried a crew of elite operatives handpicked for a mission shrouded in secrecy. Among them stood Frairen, a battle-hardened warrior with sharp vulpine features and piercing crimson eyes, and Miss Rimiki, a reptilian scientist whose intelligence was matched only by her skepticism. A deep mechanical voice echoed through the bridge. Final approach to designated coordinates. Uncharted world detected. Frairen crossed his arms, his thick tail twitching with impatience. I still don't understand why they sent us to this forsaken rock. No known civilizations, no tactical advantage. Just dust and ruins. Miss Rimiki's glowing azure eyes remained fixed on her datapad, her clawed fingers tapping rapidly across the screen. That's exactly why it doesn't make sense. A distress signal was detected here, on a world that's supposed to be dead. Frairen scoffed, probably a glitch in the system. Miss Rimiki's expression darkened. No, the frequency is too deliberate, too structured. Someone, or something, wants us to find them. The warship's engines hummed as the descent began. The planet below was a graveyard. Jagged ruins stretched as far as the eye could see, remnants of towering structures now reduced to skeletal remains. The land was dry and lifeless, marked with deep scars, evidence of a battle that had been fought long ago and utterly forgotten. As they landed, the silence was suffocating. A team of Federation troopers, clad in reinforced armor, disembarked first, their weapons at the ready. Frairen followed, scanning the area. No movement, no signs of life, just the wind howling through the hollowed buildings. Miss Rimiki adjusted her scanning device. Environmental readings are stable. No radiation, no biological threats. She hesitated, but something is off. Frairen's ears flicked. How so? Miss Rimiki looked up, her expression tense. There are no bodies. Frairen frowned. She was right. For a battlefield this massive, there should have been remains, bones, armor, something. But the ruins were eerily clean, as if whatever happened here had erased all traces of the fallen. A sharp beeping from Miss Rimiki's scanner interrupted his thoughts. Movement. Frairen signaled to his soldiers. Weapons were raised. The beeping grew louder, the signal stronger. And then, a shadow moved. Out of the wreckage stepped a lone figure. His tattered uniform was barely recognizable, his face partially concealed beneath a layer of dust and dried blood. But his eyes, ***, burning with unnatural intensity, ***, sent a chill through Frairen's spine. He was human. Frairen's breath caught. Impossible. Miss Rimiki's voice was barely above a whisper. Frairen, my scans confirm it. He's not just human. He's... Before she could finish, the ground shook violently. A deep, guttural growl echoed through the ruins. The air vibrated with an overwhelming presence, a force neither seen nor heard, but undeniably felt. The human didn't move. He merely exhaled, cracking his knuckles. You need to leave. Now. Frairen aimed his rifle. And why is that? The human's lips curled into a knowing smirk. Because you're not ready for what's coming. And then the shadows came alive. The truth about the planet. The ruins trembled. A low, rumbling growl echoed through the hollowed city, rattling the broken stone and twisted metal. The air itself felt charged, heavy, as if something unseen had just awakened. Frairen's instincts screamed at him to move, but he held his ground, weapons ready, eyes scanning the darkness. Beside him, Miss Rimiki's claws tightened around her scanner, its display flashing red. The human survivor stood calmly, His piercing eyes locked onto the encroaching shadows. "You should have left when you had the chance." Frairen snarled. "Who are you?" The man didn't answer. Instead, he turned his gaze toward the crumbling structures around them, his expression unreadable. And then, the first attack came. Something massive and fast burst from the darkness. A creature. Its form was unlike anything recorded in the Federation archives, twisted and grotesque, with shifting plates of organic armor and eyes that burned like embers. It moved too quickly, a blur of unnatural speed as it lunged. The soldiers barely had time to react. The first trooper was snatched into the air. A sickening crunch followed as the beast's jagged limbs pierced through his armor like paper. Blood sprayed across the rubble. "Open fire," Frairen bellowed. Energy blasts filled the air, lighting up the battlefield. The creature let out a shriek, but it didn't fall. It absorbed the shots, its shifting body adapting, hardening. Miss Rimiki's voice was sharp with terror. "It's mutating. Our weapons are useless." The human, however, was already moving. With impossible speed, he closed the distance, grabbing the creature's exposed limb. His grip tightened, muscles flexing with inhuman force. The creature shrieked, trying to pull away, but the human wouldn't let go. And then, in a single motion, he tore the limb clean off. Frairen's eyes widened. What the hell? The creature staggered back, howling in pain. The human didn't stop. He launched himself at it, a blur of motion, and drove his fist into its chest. The sound of breaking bone and ruptured flesh echoed through the ruins. Within moments, the beast collapsed. Dead. Silence. The Federation soldiers stared. Disbelief painted every face. Frairen's grip on his rifle tightened. No normal being, no human, should have been able to do that. Miss Rimiki was shaking. "My scanner. It's off the charts. His strength. His speed." The human exhaled, stepping over the creature's corpse. He wiped the blood off his hands and turned to them. "Now do you understand?" Frairen's jaw clenched. Understand what? The human's expression darkened. This planet, it wasn't just any world. It was our proving ground. Miss Rimiki's voice wavered. I don't understand." The human stepped closer, his presence almost overpowering. ***, we weren't wiped out. We weren't hunted to extinction. We didn't lose. ***, he looked at the ruins. We walked away. Frairen's heart pounded. You mean, humans abandoned this planet? On purpose? The human chuckled, but there was no humor in it. The Federation feared us. They knew they couldn't control us. So, they spread their little lie. Told the galaxy we were destroyed. That we were gone. Miss Rimiki swallowed. But why send a distress signal? Why now? The human's expression darkened. Because they're coming back. A sharp beeping interrupted them. Frairen glanced at his comms. Incoming transmission from Federation Command. A metallic voice crackled through the static. Unidentified human presence confirmed. Proceed with elimination. Frairen's blood ran cold. The Federation had just ordered them to kill him. Miss Rimiki gasped. They were watching us the whole time. Frairen looked up at the sky. Federation warships were descending. The human didn't look surprised. He simply smiled. I was hoping they'd show up. The Forgotten War. The air grew heavier, charged with an eerie stillness as the Federation warships loomed above. Their hulls glowed a menacing blue, casting an artificial twilight over the ruins. From the silent giants, dropships detached, their engines screaming as they descended like falling stars. Frairen's comms crackled again. The message repeated, colder this time. Unidentified human presence confirmed. Proceed with elimination. Frairen's grip on his rifle tightened. The Federation had just ordered them to kill him. Miss Rimiki's scales shivered as she read the final encrypted line on her scanner. She turned to Frairen, eyes wide. This wasn't a mission of investigation. It was a mission of execution. Frairen's tail flicked, his expression unreadable. They knew what we would find here. That means the human, still calm despite the impending attack, finished for him. That means they were never going to let you leave. A harsh realization settled over them. They weren't soldiers investigating a distress signal. They were pawns in a cleanup operation. And the Federation always cleaned up its messes. The last human war. Frairen faced the human directly. Tell me everything. Now. The human met his gaze, unflinching. Everything. He exhaled. Fine. But you might not like the answers. He gestured around the ruined city. This planet was once a human stronghold. Not just any stronghold. A proving ground. A place where only the strongest of our kind were sent. Here, we fought, adapted, survived. And when we left this world, we were no longer just human. Miss Rimiki's throat tightened. You evolved. The human nodded. We became something the galaxy had never seen before. His fingers curled into a fist. Something the Federation feared. Frairen's eyes narrowed. If you were so powerful, how did the Federation win? The human laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. They didn't. They were losing. Every battle, every war, until they found another way. Miss Rimiki's hands trembled around her scanner. Bioweapons. The human nodded grimly. They created a virus tailored to wipe us out. Not instantly. No, that would be too easy. It was designed to break us down, weaken us, make us vulnerable. Frairen's fur bristled. But you survived. The human smirked. We did more than survive. We adapted. We overcame. Miss Rimiki exhaled sharply. Then why did you disappear? The human's smile faded. Because war isn't just about strength. It's about control. He motioned toward the Federation ships above. They knew they couldn't beat us outright, so they erased us from history. They burned every record, destroyed every settlement, and made sure no one would ever ask what happened to the humans. Frairen took a step forward. And you let them. The human's eyes darkened. We let them think they won. Silence stretched between them. The Federation had feared humans so much that they rewrote history itself. And now, the truth was about to come crashing down. The betrayal. A deafening roar filled the sky as the first Federation dropships touched down. Soldiers in gleaming armor marched out, weapons locked and loaded. Frairen's comms crackled again. Commander Frairen, report. Is the target neutralized? Frairen glanced at the human. He stood there, arms crossed, completely unafraid. Miss Rimiki swallowed. Frairen, what are we going to do? Frairen's heart pounded. His entire career had been built on loyalty to the Federation. But this was different. They had lied. They had manipulated. And now, they were asking him to murder the last surviving evidence of their crimes. He made his decision. Negative. Command. A long pause. Then, repeat that, Commander. Frairen raised his rifle, but not at the human. Instead, he pointed it at the approaching Federation soldiers. I said negative. The target is not hostile. We have been deceived. The radio went dead. And then, a cold, familiar voice returned. Treason confirmed. All Federation forces, eliminate them all. Miss Rimiki gasped. Frairen, they just marked us as enemies. The Federation soldiers raised their weapons. Frairen grinned. Good. The first shots were fired. The first strike. The battlefield erupted. Frairen dove for cover, rolling behind a crumbling wall as energy blasts streaked past him. Miss Rimiki scrambled beside him, her fingers flying over her datapad. I'm overriding their comms, jamming their tactical frequencies. The human, meanwhile, didn't take cover. He didn't need to. Instead, he charged forward. A Federation soldier fired. But the human was faster. He sidestepped at impossible speed, his body a blur. The next second, he was in front of the soldier, grabbing the rifle with one hand and crushing it like paper. The soldier barely had time to scream before a single strike to the chest sent him flying. More soldiers surrounded him, forming a tight ring. It didn't matter. The human moved like lightning, weaving between them, striking with bone-crushing force. One by one, they fell. Frairen watched in awe. How? Miss Rimiki was still analyzing the data streaming from her scanner. He's adapting. Faster than anything I've ever seen. Frairen exhaled. I think I just picked the right side. The final warning. The battle was turning. Federation soldiers were falling. The warships above shifted, preparing for a full bombardment. Miss Rimiki's scanner flashed red. Frairen, they're going to wipe out the entire area. Frairen gritted his teeth. We need to stop them. The human smiled. Don't worry. We will. He raised his arm, revealing a small, ancient-looking device on his wrist. He pressed a button. The ground rumbled. From the depths of the ruins, something stirred. Machinery long thought dead came to life. And in the sky, above the Federation warships, a new fleet appeared. Frairen's breath caught. What? What is that? The human's eyes gleamed. The last human war fleet. And we're taking back our place in the galaxy.